All right. I think that we'd like to get started right on time. Some other folks I know will be joining us because I did send out a quick reminder. But to see the slides that we're going to be using today, please go to the ReadyTalk website, ReadyTalk.com, and then you can log in with the same end number, which is 789-4467. All right, so I see the first message is we have Agata from Poland, so thank you very much for calling in. We actually had folks at the conference last year from Poland as well, so we're very pleased about that. I think 2 companies this year. So we're going to start the OnetoOne Business Connections webinar now, and it is something that both SIIA and Educational Systemics, our partner, have worked on for, oh my Lord, Mary, some years now.
I think
but
8 or so.
I know, 8 years. So but it's a great partnership, and we really appreciate their help. So we're going to have different people, I think, talk about a few different things today. And the first thing I want to remind you of before we get started and I have everyone introduce themselves is, would you please put notes, hellos, or questions in the chat box. On the lower left part of your screen, you should see the chat box, and then you can also note who you want it to go to, just one of us or a person, and we'll send notes there as well to all of you. So first thing, I've got a chance now to give my welcome. I run the Education Division. We'll talk about that just in another minute. But Lindsay, do you want to introduce yourself, and then Mary, and then Tila, just so that they know your voices when you speak later?
Sure. Thanks, Karen. My name is Lindsay Harmon. I work closely with Karen in the Education Division of SIIA. I'm the Market and Policy Analyst, and I do a lot of the data collection and materials gathering for our conferences and programs and all of that kind of stuff, and just generally help Karen keep the division running.
Yes, which I appreciate greatly. Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary Ladon, Vice President at Educational Systemics, and also the financial person. So I work on contracts and that aspect of the business, but I've also done other things in our business. So if you have any questions, as Karen said, I've been participating in the one-to-ones for quite a long time. I'm happy to answer those questions.
Great. And Tila.
Hi, I'm Tila Evans. I'm the Project Manager for Educational Systemics. I do a lot of the client relationship management and communications. So as Mary said, feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions.
Great. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about SIIA, and I think the key distinction, if you don't know us, is that we are a trade association, and that means that our members are companies. And so the companies do any kind of digital code and content as industry partner. And the Education Division are made up of a lot of software applications folks. They do digital content, online learning, and all kinds of related technologies, but in elementary and secondary and post-secondary. We sort of think K-20, and that's important because there's a lot of crossover now between the K-12 sector and the higher ed sector. I know when a lot of you applied for the Innovation Incubator program, you checked multiple categories, and that's sort of where we're at as well. And our job is to pretty much do, as a staff here, anything that our members need for us to do, and that a lot of it runs advocacy and critical market information. Lindsay runs the market reports, which is very, very important. And we basically connect and help shape folks in the digital industry, and that could be the educational constituents that we have, and the legislative folks, and our companies, lots of different folks. And no day is exactly like the other day, as I'm sure Lindsay can attest to. Each day something interesting and new comes up for us as a challenge. And you can see a lot more about us on SIIA.net/education, and it will tell you about all the different programs and things that we have. So I'd like Mary or Tila then to talk about educational systemics. I think it's actually going to be Tila.
Thanks, Karen. So Educational Systemics was founded in 2001 by President Michael J. and Mary Ladon, who's here on the call. Educational Systemics serves the pre-K-12 market. We really try to provide sustainable solutions to publishers and ed tech companies. Michael J. also has an extensive background in educational metadata with over 30 years in experience, and it's also lent his expertise to several metadata initiatives. At Educational Systemics, we're really committed to solving organizational issues with a systemic lens that's going to essentially create a lasting solution. So some of our services include, but are definitely not limited to, product marketing. We help with product development, instructional design. We work a lot with content repositories, metadata, and tagging. Also familiar with corporate leadership, helping with organizational management. And one of our new projects that we have now is Education Table Talk. It's a monthly radio show where we bring on 3 industry leaders and talk about controversial issues in the education sector. So that's been a lot of fun for us. We're always interested in doing new and exciting things. We also currently partner with the AAP around the Learning Resource Metadata Initiative. And we also, of course, participate in wonderful conferences like these ones to help facilitate and make meaningful connections in the industry. So I'm very excited to be here and touch base with all of you, and feel free to reach out to me or to Mary after this call.
Great. Thank you, Tila. Very quickly, I wanted to hopefully ease a bit of confusion because of the common use of the word presenters, etc. There were 52 applicants for the Innovation Incubator program. One, we sort of mutually decided with the company they weren't ready yet because they didn't have a website to show, they didn't have a product to show. That was really hard to talk about what they had as an innovation. So we had 51 applicants, companies, that went out for review by a number of our members, and they ranked them. There was a rubric, and they were scored, and folks could submit comments on each of them. And we took the top 10, and they've been asked to present to the attendees on that Monday afternoon, May 12th, which is in San Francisco. And the opening exhibition, which is right after that, and an innovation showcase is where they will be. That's the Monday. It's sort of the start of the conference. But on Tuesday, we have been running for many years an one-to-one business connection program. And we have taken upon ourselves, and Mary and Tila can attest to this, it is very, very time consuming, but we try to set up meetings between companies that, in our words, should talk to each other. And we ask each group to fill out a short survey so that we can understand better why they should talk to each other. Now, anyone who applied for the summit for the Innovation Incubator program and registers for the summit can actually participate in a couple of things. And one is this one-to-one business connection meeting, which are the topics for today. And then also we have some Pitch Fest sessions, which if you're interested, I'll certainly let you know about, and I'll send everyone a general email about that. That's on Wednesday. But today we're going to talk about the one-to-ones. They're business connection meetings. And as young companies, for the most part, you would fall into the category we call presenting companies. And you have reasons, probably some of you, to talk to potential investors, some of you potential distributors or business partners, lots of different reasons, and it really is a business sort of exec-to-exec kind of thing. And so to start talking about that, I'm going to ask, I guess, Mary, or is it Tila? Tila's actually going to start talking about the one-to-ones, and then Mary's going to talk about why you should participate.
Thanks, Karen. So I'm just going to give a quick review of the program process, let you know what you should expect. So Educational Systemics is in their 9th year of sponsoring this event, and we're really proud to help establish with SIIA meaningful connections with folks and help support potential business opportunities. So this event was created when Karen Billings saw the need in the industry and collaborated with Mary and Michael to essentially build a community and give startups a chance to connect with established organizations who aren't always accessible, and vice versa for individuals who are established and they now have the opportunity to give concrete advice on product development or organizational management. And again, just giving companies like yourself access to these key decision makers. So the OnetoOne Business Connections will be Tuesday, May 13th in the afternoon in San Francisco. These are fast-paced 15-minute exchanges in between established and startup organizations. And later on, we'll talk a little bit more about the tips and tricks for participating and how you should prepare for those. But again, SIIA and Educational Systemics schedules meetings based off of listening and presenting company surveys. And we do have a link later on for you to look and go ahead and check out those surveys. And this is a chance for you to tell us your company descriptions, let us know what you're looking for. And typically, companies will have anywhere from 4 to 6 meetings. Again, we do try to schedule as many meetings as possible, but this ultimately depends on which organizations are participating and what they're looking for. And we don't want to slot you with a whole bunch of companies and meetings that aren't going to have meaningful conversations or be viable for you in the end. So once folks do sign up, we do begin the scheduling process, and everyone receives their final schedule 1 week prior to the event, and it will be these meetings will be in the time slot from 2 o'clock to 3:45. So I'll pass it over to Mary to talk about some of the benefits of participating.
Okay. Well, first off, thanks for everyone for attending this. And I'm looking forward to meeting you there at the one-to-one business meetings. It's a really good place for any company that's newer or an established company that maybe has a new product or going in a new direction. And you want to participate for a couple of reasons. Number one, to make...
Yes, Mary, I hate to interrupt, but could you speak a little bit louder? They are having trouble hearing you.
Better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
The main reason would be to build strong business connections with the movers and shakers in the industry. As Karen mentioned before, these are executives, and often a newer company or even someone with a new product may not be able to get into the people who make the decisions or to those more established companies. So this is your chance, without having the difficulty of navigating through which company, who do I talk to. You put down what your preferences are, and we try to look at those preferences and match you with the people that will be most useful for you to meet. There will be investment. There will be distributors and companies that also looking for partnerships or strategic relationships. So again, this is your chance to make those connections. It's not enough time for you to present your whole idea, but it is a time for you to make a strong connection to a person that can help you in that. It's also a chance to get to know SIIA and Educational Systemics better. At SIIA, it gives you a chance to see, well, how can SIIA membership help me? What committee might I be on where I will be with people that have similar interests that can help me make decisions, or that I can help strengthen the industry? And of course, Educational Systemics, we're always there we're happy to help out and answer questions. And of course, you have Michael J. as a wonderful mentor. And then there's also, and Karen, I'm not sure about this Join and Grow program.
I'll talk about that.
Okay.
Sure. Yes, it is a new program developed specifically for startups. And the advantage is that it's a very low cost to join SIIA. It's $495 if you qualify for that first year that you're a member. We have a 12-month membership. And if you're about 2 years or less old as a company and you have less than $1 million in revenue and high growth aspirations, then you would qualify. And for that $495, every person in your company would get to participate, get the benefits. It's either discounted registration fees or free publications, free webinars, all kinds of things. And you can see, if you just go to SIIA.net/education, you'll see a lot of the things that we do and sort of the reasons that you might want to participate and join. And a lot of it's that connection that Mary just talked about. It brings you into closer relationships with about 200 other companies, and those companies are investors, and they are large companies who are acquiring others. They are great business partners for you. So I'd like to talk a little bit about who is part of the One-to-One Business Connection meetings and then also at the conference. Now, the established organizations, the Pearsons and McGraw-Hills and Scholastics, and those members are going to want to discover new products because they may have something that would fit their portfolio that they would like to either add on, acquire, or just form a distribution relationship with. And for those that are either in the investment or the venture funds, they're looking to see where they should be spending investment dollars and bring them into their portfolios. As a startup, you'll also get, of course, just besides that possibility of having somebody actually listen to your business plan, listen to what you want to do, they're going to give you some guidance. We do have folks who are going to be acting as advisors, and those are folks who have been in the industry for quite a while, and they really have a great understanding of who you should partner with or who you should talk to next because they want to contribute to the industry in that way. They will give you advice on business models and particularly whether or not your product is ready for the market or not. Now, we're under a tight deadline, and if you have registered or whether or not, if you haven't registered but plan to, then you should just go to the link that's there, the SIIA.net/EIS, etc. Or you can just go to /EIS and go into the drop-down menus, and it'll take you to one-to-ones. And it'll take you to a presenting company survey. And all you need to do is to fill that out. It's pretty short, but we need to understand who it is that you want to meet with. If all you want is a distributor, we're not going to give you 4 investors to talk to. We want to make sure that it's mapped as clearly and aligned with your business proposition as we can. Now, the listening companies they're filling out a different survey. They're talking about who they want to meet. And so next week, what's going to happen is that Mary and Tila and I are going to get on the phone, and we're going to look at these surveys, and we're going to say, so let's see, here's a company that needs some investment, and here's an investor who's willing to invest in a startup because some of them want, unfortunately for you, $10 million in revenue because that's the kind of company they invest in. But some of them want to invest in the startups. They like the early stage companies. So that's who we would map people with. And one of us has a presenting company schedule, and the other has a listening company schedule. And the trick is to make sure that once we've locked and loaded a 15-minute time frame, 20-minute time frame, where you're going to meet with each other, then that time is locked out for both companies to meet with anybody else. Because once you get there, you are going to go to an assigned table where your first meeting is, and you will meet with that company, and then we'll announce at the end of the time frame that it's time to move on to your next meeting. So for about the hour and 45 minutes, it's a very busy time, and there's a lot of energy and a lot of things going on. I mean, you can see in this other one where people are busy talking to each other, and we have a number of tables this year. I think we're going to try and get about 20 tables worth of things. So do sign up, and I'm going to turn it back to Tila, who's going to talk to you a little bit about the tips if you're going to be doing this, because these are important things, I think, for everyone to hear. And then we want to make sure that you have a chance to ask questions via the chat box. And we'll sort of stop talking, and you can all just ask your questions in the chat box. But first, Tila, I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thanks. Yeah, I'll just go through these really briefly just so we do have time. I want to respect everyone's time. So first is filling out the survey. Like Karen said, if you follow that URL, it'll take you to a survey. And this is an important process because this is what's going to benefit you for quality matches and what's going to help us make the best matches for you. So we do encourage you to expand on your company description, integrate keywords that are going to help us determine the best match. If you do have companies that you would like to meet with, please let us know and we'll try to accommodate your request. However, this doesn't mean that we guarantee those meetings. It's just something for us to make note during the scheduling process. We've done a survey of listening companies who have participated, and we've had some feedback from them on what they recommend for presenting companies. One is researching organizations prior to the meeting. So really target your message to companies that you're going to be meeting with. Be prepared with questions that are specific to that organization. For example, if you're meeting with a VC, create clear, solid points for financial backing. Another important one is to arrive on time for your scheduled meeting. So like Karen said, there's about a 15-minute exchange, and then we call out and you switch to your next meeting. So it's really important for you to be there. Listening companies put a time aside to speak with you, and they do appreciate you being on time and being there during that transition. And you may also see them during the conference. It's the second day, but that doesn't mean that your scheduled meetings will change. Perhaps if you meet with someone earlier, just make sure you are still there for your scheduled time, and if you both talk for a brief 5 minutes and decide mutually that it's okay for you to leave, that's okay. But if for any reason you can't attend your meetings, please notify us via email, via phone as soon as possible. Another important distinction is the elevator speech versus demos. So during the 15 minutes, you don't really have time to explain your entire company or your whole product. So really use this as a time to establish a meaningful relationship with them. And this will lead to number 5, where you can schedule a follow-up meeting. If you see that both of your missions align, there's some potential business opportunities, then use that to exchange contact information and schedule a follow-up meeting. And last but not least, so one more reminder to arrive on time. And if you have any questions about your schedule, you can always contact us to clarify. So with that, we'll just move into questions and unmute everybody.
Okay.
Perfect. So feel free to put any questions in the chat, or and we'll move over. And they have contact information for myself and Mary LaDawn. Feel free to reach out via email, phone, or Twitter.
Well, Brady's asking, where can we view a list of companies attending these meetings?
So, Mary, if you could still speak up louder, it's really hard to hear you.
Sorry. So Brady, there's not a list of the companies attending the meetings just yet, but there is the overall list of attendees on the SIIA website. And so we will be drawing the listening companies, or the companies that you'll be presenting to, from that list. But all of those won't be available.
Yeah. Yeah, the folks that are interested are typically some of the larger companies that are looking for acquisitions. Some of those that are the venture investors, of course, and some of the advisors there. What I would recommend is that you go to the website for the conference, which is simply SIIA.net/EIS, and then under the networking drop-down, I think there's a Look Who's Coming, and that will give you an up-to-the-minute registration list of the people who have told us that it's okay to list their name and company name. So you can look at the company names and just see if there's somebody there. If you're really interested, it's possible that they're new to the organization and new to the summit, so they may not even know about being a listening company yet, and therefore we could invite them. So let us know if you've got people that you'd like to meet with that are on that list, so we can at least invite them for you. We can't promise that they will say yes, because some of them come for very different reasons. So let's see what we have for questions here. We have a thank you. That's very nice. And we have the list of all attendees that I believe Lindsay just came up with. More questions. We still have a few minutes left. So again, all it takes for you to be eligible to participate, to have SIA and Educational Systemics set up these meetings for you is really twofold. It's to fill out the survey, and you can do that first, but we're not going to start to schedule meetings until we see that you have registered. What I have tried to do is to make sure that the folks who are eligible for this know about it, which we appreciate. Sabari has a question about PR, and I think that's referring to the Innovation Incubator finalists. We are planning to put out a press release later this week. Again, for the ones who have registered and who are going to be finalists, and we will be letting the world know about the Innovation Incubator finalists and who they're going to be. And so that's another thing. And then there'll be also, Sabari, a note is that the finalists are actually going to have a quick orientation call late next week, just to make sure that they're ready for the different presentations and things that they have to do there. About how many meetings should they expect? Mary or Tila, how many do we typically say?
Well,
Yeah,
I
would say typically 4 to 6 meetings, but again, it all depends on who is participating in the event. So like we mentioned earlier, we don't want to slot you a whole bunch of meetings that aren't going to be viable for you. So it could be anywhere from 4 to 6, more or less. But we definitely try to schedule you with as many meetings as makes sense.
Okay. I'll take the last question, which is the difference between strategic investment and early stage investment. A strategic investment is usually made by a company such as, say, Macmillan Ventures or the McGraw-Hill people. Intel has them as well. And they are companies who have a group within them that fund innovation and fund companies at various stages. That money typically comes with a sort of a right of first refusal to bid for the company or to invest at a later stage. But it is a closer working relationship with a company that you would be partnering with. An early stage investment is going to be made by a venture capital firm, and they are the ones who, like an angel investment or early stage investment, they're willing just to put some money in, and in return, they're going to want some sort of piece or portion of the company. So if you're going out for you want $10 million down the road, then and 5 different groups come out with $2 million each or something. What will happen is that for that quote $10 million, there's some ownership of the company that they would get. So it's a difference between sort of ownership at the end. And then I think to see the other presenters' comments in chat. Pretty much the other presenters, we have was going to say, we haven't really been, like the other presenters like Lindsay has been just putting on the information about the one-to-ones, etc. I'm not sure what you mean by other presenters, unless you mean the questions that the people ask who were on the call, and those I think were available to everyone. Those of us here who sometimes pass information back and forth trying to decide who's going to answer a question or something like that isn't that critical. But anything that is important as sort of one person here is really, I think, for everyone. So I would go to SIIA.net/either EIS for Education Industry Summit or /education to get further information. And unless there's a question that comes up right away, I think we'll probably end the call. We asked for 30 minutes, and I think that we're about over. I do get another question from Lisa. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes, the event scheduled for Wednesday, there are a number of sessions. There's some plenaries, there's some sessions. And within these sessions, the breakouts, there are what we call pitch fests. And I'll make sure that you get information on that. But you could apply to, quote, present, to pitch a short version of your business plan or a short version of your marketing plan, how you're going to reach your education customers, and or just a very even shorter version of your elevator pitch. And there is going to be a Shark Tank kind of group there, but they're going to be nice people. They're there to help you, to help you refine all of those things. So I will make sure that you get that information as well. But it's on the schedule. If you go to SIIA.net/education, EIS, then you will see the schedule for the Pitch Fest. And they are sessions. There'll probably be 6 to 8 people presenting in each, and then the advisors who are sitting there, not sharks, but really nice people, will give you helpful and I think informative feedback. Looks like that's it. So we're going to close the call. I'll ask Lindsay to send out, or I will send out, but we've recorded the call. So what can happen is if you're interested in having somebody else listen to it at your company, or for those who missed the thing altogether, we'll send out the recording, and it comes with the slides. So you'll see both of those very soon. And hopefully, I know that we all appreciate, as do Tila and Mary and Lindsay here at SIIA, and Mary and Tila at Educational Systemics, the time that you spent with us. And we will all be at the summit in San Francisco. And actually, this is Tuesday, so guess what? About exactly 4 weeks from now, you all could be presenting in meetings that we've set up for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.